Hello everyone, my name is Ocean. For this video, I choose to answer the questions about what communication techniques persuasive leaders use and whether persuasion can exist without trust. I think one of the biggest communication techniques good leaders use is listening. A lot of people think being a leader means doing all the talking, but actually, I think listening is more important. I think that people feel heard when they're willing to work with you. Like a good leader also should explain why something matters instead of just telling somebody to do something. Just like when you're raising children or telling a child what to do, it helps to tell them why they need to do it instead of just telling them what to do. If somebody understands why they need to do it and the reason behind their decision, they're usually more willing to support it and they're more willing to cooperate and do it. Another thing persuasive leaders do is stay calm. Even if you disagree with somebody or if someone disagrees with them, they shouldn't start arguing or raising their voice because that kind of shows weakness, in my opinion. It's respectful to stay calm and, make people feel respected. I also think body language matters a lot. Making eye contact, smiling, speaking with confidence can make people believe that what you're saying is true and that you believe in what you're saying too. For the second question, I don't think persuasion works very well without trust, honestly. Someone might convince you to do something once, but if you don't trust them, you're probably not going to keep doing it, and you're not going to probably keep following them. I think it's much easier to follow somebody's lead if you trust them and what they're doing and their purpose. Trust is what makes people believe that a leader is worth leading and that their intentions are good, that you're not wasting your time. Everybody wants to do something for a good cause, and I can think of an example from my own life, like even with my boss at work. I trust her and I really like her, and I believe that helps me be more willing to work harder in work. And when she tells me to do something, I do believe that she's smart, and I trust in her advice, and that makes me more willing to do the things that she says. But yeah, I think that if you trust somebody, it definitely helps you do stuff. Like, she gives me advice on things to do and talking to customers, and sometimes I might not want to do it, but once I do it, I do see that what she's saying is actually working, and I just trust her. And that's just how it works, I guess. That's why she's the boss. At first somebody might not like the ideas, but once you trust somebody and do the suggestions and they actually work, it builds trust. And that's really important when it comes to like relationships. But yeah, it's important to listen. Like, she listens to my concerns and she cares about my problems, and you can tell because even if I call out and I say I'm not feeling well, she'll always say to keep her updated, and it just shows that she cares, and that makes me trust her because she cares about me. But yeah. But if she just demands that I do stuff and doesn't listen to me and how I feel, I probably wouldn't trust her. But the fact that she listens to my problems and shows that she cares about them helps me trust her more. But to me, that's what a real leader looks like. she listens to my concerns and she cares about them. But yeah, she doesn't just force us to do stuff. She will listen to our recommendations and consider them. And she also tells me when I'm doing a good job and gives people praise when they're doing good. But she'll also let me know if I'm making a mistake or doing something wrong, which is reasonable because we all need to know how to improve. But yeah, it's not about being the loudest person in the room or about being the meanest or the nicest. It's just about building trust and having clear communication and showing people that you really care about them. When leaders do all those things, it makes it much easier to build a relationship, and it makes people more likely to follow them, because they want to, not just because they have to. Yes, thank you for watching.